In today's video, we shall provide a short introduction on errors and exceptions in Python. You might have encountered many different types of errors when writing your code, like a zero division error where you divided by zero, a type error when you try adding a string or integer, even a syntax error when you forget a colon after an if statement. Exceptions are just errors detected during the execution, and as such, one way to handle them and catch these errors is to use a try and except code. So, from my example, we can see how to implement a try and except code. Let's run 3 divided by 4, and we can see that there's no error, and so only the last statement, finally clause, printed check, is run. Now, if there was an error, for example a zero division error, the except zero division error clause will print out the cannot divide by zero statement. And if it was a type error, then the type error clause exception will be run over here. So for in this case, the 3 is a string and the 4 is an integer, so when you divide it is not possible, and so the type error clause will run and print wrong types. If we have added a finally clause, it will run regardless whether there is error or not. As seen from here, there is no error, but the finally clause is still ran. Over here, when there's a zero division error, the final clause is still ran, and over here it is likewise as the zero division error, but for now type error. If you did not have a finally clause, then nothing will run as follows. Now, we understand what exceptions are, but we need to understand that Python also allows us to raise them manually. This is meant for programmers to force an exception to occur so that they know what is happening with their code. For example, we can just type raise error, name error, so that we know what error we want in this case, and as such, the name error with its input will be shown. This is particularly useful once you have implemented it with other code and when you're using your own user design errors, as such in our next example, where the name error is raised, and then because it is raised, the except clause will be executed, and so the output and exception will be shown as follows. But if it was a type error, then when you raise the type error, the except name error clause will not be executed, and so the output will just tell you type error with its input. Lastly, I like to point out that when Python has many built-in error types, you can still define your own type of error. These are just called the user-defined exceptions, and are used when you want to customize your own exception that Python does not have. Exceptions are just a class on its own, and so when we want to define our own exception, we are merely creating our own class. To know more about creating classes, please watch our previous videos. So let's say we have already defined our own class, in this case the myError class, and this error class is a subclass of the exception class. And so when we try to raise the myError and it is raised, it is being executed in the except clause, and thus this is the statement that we printed out. People use this type of exceptions because they can be extended to suit their own code, and these nested exception blocks can allow for flexibility in their code. Yep, and that is all for this short introduction to errors and exceptions for Python. Hope you have enjoyed the video. Please like, share and subscribe, and follow our YouTube channel for more content. Thank you.